number. This is Stompin' at the Savoy classic Betty Goodman Chick Webb number, and it features our set player, Billy Matthews. Raise your hand if you're a 6th grade member of jazz band. 6th grade. Raise your hand if you're a 7th grade member of jazz band. And our 8th grade members of jazz band. Now, the thing I always have to remind myself is that, especially with the 6th graders, these are students who have never played anything in the jazz idiom before. They don't listen to jazz as they grow up, generally speaking, unless they're in a really musical household or have older brothers and sisters who are into jazz. And so, how to teach this art form, this brand new art form with this very complex rhythmic notation, very stylized performances, how to teach this to middle school. It's all about listening and developing feel. That performance of Stompin' at the Savoy was very similar to the Chick Webb's version of that recording, of that song. If you listen to the recording, which we did over and over and over, we really try to emulate that, and that's what jazz is. Jazz is passed down from generation to generation. And the way we teach it is by listening to the people who came before us and passing it on to the next generation. That's why I love having 6th, 7th, and 8th graders in here, because the 8th graders know the ropes, they pass it on to the 7th graders, who pass it on to the newbies, who really struggle at the beginning, but then they get it. And next year, there'll be a whole new crop of 6th graders who join us, and they'll be the old pros. We're going to move on to Eye of the Tiger, which you'll know from the Rocky movies. It's by Frankie Sullivan and Jim Petterick, and it's a more contemporary jazz feel. All right. first came to this school district 17 years ago, part of my job a few years in was to teach lessons here. I taught choral music here, and then I taught some lessons here, and then I was offered, well, can you teach some bands at East? Sure. Can you teach a concert band at East? Sure. Can you teach a jazz band? I could give it a go. So that was my first, I dove into jazz, teaching the East Jazz Band, and we went to our first competition and received a reasonable rating, and the judge came up to me afterwards and said, you know, they were okay, but I really don't think women should teach jazz. This school district, less than 20 years ago. I said, oh, well, it's on. And so ever since then, I have been a real student of jazz. I really have worked hard to teach myself how to teach jazz and how to teach jazz better. And the proof of the pudding is when we come up against bands like we did at the Strathaven Festival, who bring in Temple University jazz professors and performing artists from the Kimmel Center and all kinds of clinicians to work with their bands, and then we win a Superior and Best Soloist. I'm just saying. And it's a credit to them and to their hard work and to their efforts. One of the things I did learn along the way was that a really good jazz coach does not conduct the band. And we still see middle school directors conducting jazz bands, and they usually look pretty silly doing it, because it's a tiny group of people, and if they're well trained and coached enough, they should be able to drive their own bus. Not drive literally, don't let them drive home. But drive the performance, and that last song had a couple of little glitches in it, and my first instinct was to jump in and save them, but they saved themselves. And that's what I'm trying to teach them, that they need to learn how to recover, how to figure things out, and how to work as a team to make the performance a whole. And that's a credit to them that they're able to do this so well. We're going to switch gears now to a ballad called All the Things You Are. It's from a show called Very Warm for May, a Broadway show from many years ago, 1939, written by Oscar Hammerstein II and Jerome Kern. This is going to feature a duet with alto saxophonist John Foley and trumpet player Michael Usselton, and then a trumpet solo by Archer Chrisman. All the Things You Are. students, what do you want to work on next year? And he came up with 27 ideas, and this is one of them. And so I said, all right, we'll give it a go. And I had my doubts from the beginning, but I'll tell you, they're really doing a super job with it. So here we go, the theme from the prayer. jazz waltz. Those of you who came and saw our production of The Sound of Music will know the song, Favorite Things. This is a jazz version, a jazz waltz version of that tune by Oscar Hammerstein and Richard Rogers from The Sound of Music. And really have Sullivan. Mr. Foley and Vicky Pasquarino on the trumpet. All right, favorite thing. All right, I'm ready.
Don't disappoint you.
Tina. Brought their own band. We played at Fernhill Elementary on Monday. You would have thought Katy Perry and the Beatles showed up. Screaming children. I think they just like to scream. I don't think it necessarily like it. They just want to scream. Adult sanction Megan. All right, here we go. All right, come on. This is it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Sign autographs to groupies after they pack up, and before they head to their midnight gig at the club. Did I mention that? All right, thank you so much. Thank you for your support all year long with them. It's been a real pleasure to teach them. We have a terrific homeroom that we have a good time. It's a great way to start the day, wakes everybody up, gets them on point. I've enjoyed this year enormously, and thank you for all your help and support. Thank you.